friends. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's the Dr. Willow Show, and I'm Dr. Willow, and I'm so excited to be here with you. This is going to be a fun episode. So, what are we doing here? We are bridging together sexuality, spirituality, and medicine. That's my MO in the world. And I'm having so much fun doing it, I have to say, because it is some of the deepest medicine and wisdom. I really believe that sexuality is at the root of so many of personal problems and the world's problems because it's where we come from. It's our essence. Our sexuality is our essence. So it's really this vital part of who we are. And when it's not in alignment, when it's not in a state of congruence, our lives are out of alignment and out of a state of congruence. What's congruence? Do you know what that is? Congruence is like when everything, all parts of you are on the same page. Have you ever had the experience where your head is saying one thing, your heart is saying something else, and your gut's all fucked up because it just doesn't know what to do with all these different messages from these different thinking centers in your body? So congruence is bringing all of those into alignment. I'm just checking my phone to make sure that I am live on Facebook right now because we had some technical difficulties last week. So far not seeing it. Hopefully I am live and keep going until Molly tells me I'm not. So it was really fun because just the other day I was chatting with one of my tribes women, one of the ladies in this group in Alchemy of Sex. I love to get to know you all like on a more personal level. So always please do send me personal messages in the DMs so that I can just get to know you a little bit better. So we were chatting, we were back and forth, and she said to me, when I think of the jade egg, for some reason my mind goes to psychometry. And I was like, what the hell is psychometry? I had to look it up. I didn't know what that was. So today, we're talking about why so many women struggle to create happy and healthy relationships with their intimate bits, and how using the powerful method of the jade egg will radically change your satisfaction. Okay, good. I think I am live. Fantastico. So as you are working to radically change your sense of sexuality inside of your body, the jade egg is one of the most powerful ways to do that. It's really, really an incredible practice, especially when you're doing it on a regular, consistent, and daily basis. This word that she threw into my reality, psychometry, like if the jade egg was something that would bring forth messages and stories, what would that bring forth? Has anyone heard that word before? What's psychometry? Do you know what that is? If you do, pop it in the comments. I would love to know if anyone else is like, what? Never heard of that word, because I hadn't. So, during our episode today, I really want to talk about how if you did use the jade egg for psychometry, you would be getting some really, really amazing and wild downloads. So, definition of psychometry, it's when you gather or deduce information from an object, right? So the jade egg, when the way that I teach it is we use it to clear old traumas, to clear pain from the body, to clear physical, spiritual, and emotional blockages to more pleasure in your sexual center. And also we use it to create new intentions, plant seeds of what it is that you're manifesting, what it is that you're calling into your life. So both are really, really fun and really, really powerful practices to do with the jade egg. Now, I have done a lot of work with the pelvic floor. I've been working with the pelvic floor for a long time. So, this idea of psychometry, it kind of goes back to what I was talking about last week, how when you how what you perceive becomes your reality. So if you're seeing the world, if you're walking around and you're feeling really resentful and you're having these negative thoughts about your partner, your relationship is definitely going to suffer. If you're walking around thinking, why do all these terrible things happen to me? Then you're going to be attracting more of those terrible things. And you probably all have seen The Secret, that great movie on manifesting. And I remember when that movie came out, it was a really poignant time in the history of like understanding how perception paints reality. And my boyfriend at the time, his daughter was like, "Oh my God, I just saw this movie called The Secret, Willow." She was like, "It's all the things that you always talk about. It's all about manifesting and living in gratitude and really vibrating at a frequency that draws in even more abundance into your life." And there's so many opportunities to do the exact opposite of that, right? Especially if it feels like things have been going bad and have been in a downward spiral. All of that can just keep you in that state of perceiving that the world is working against you. And so you have to rise above that. You have to force it a little bit sometimes. You have to kind of fake it till you make it and just put a smile on your face until you really genuinely are smiling for absolutely no reason throughout the day. So that's one of the things that I love to use the jade egg for, is really to manifest, to bring forth that high frequency vibration. Like in my business right now, I'm working toward a monthly goal, like a monthly income goal. And so I could walk around vibrating at a frequency of like, I only made this much, or I could walk around with the frequency of like, I'm going to make this much. And because there is no real time, there is no real yesterday and tomorrow, there's only right now. Feeling that frequency of this is what it feels like to be an entrepreneur who makes that amount of money every month. It's like, that's the frequency that I have to sometimes force myself to get into. But the jade egg really, really helps me with that practice. So every morning when I wake up, I do my prayer, I do my jade egg work, and the intention is to keep that frequency really high throughout the day. So this coming Saturday, which is tomorrow already, gosh, this week has gone fast. Tomorrow, I'm going to be leading a jade egg masterclass, and I'm really going to be talking a lot about how you can use the egg to manifest whatever it is you want in your life, whether it's a really harmonious relationship with your current partner, or more connection, better communication, whatever it is with your current partner. Or if you're really just wanting to manifest a partner into your life who meets you, who can meet you on all levels. Let's just go for all levels, not most, but all levels. Then you can use the jade egg to really augment that incredible opportunity to manifest. And so this is a masterclass that you're going to want to come to live, because I got a really cool gift that I want to give all of the people who come live. I think we have over 100 people registered right now, which is really exciting. So we're going to have a full room tomorrow on Zoom. So be sure to register and come for that. Molly will pop that in the comments for us. And it's a different offering than I gave to you at the masterclass last Saturday. So if you came last Saturday, still come again tomorrow, because there's so much to learn, so many layers. And repetition is never bad. Plus, I got a new gift for you. So if you are coming, pop a yes in the comments. And if you're not coming, let me know why. I promise I won't be sad at you. I will just be glad to know that you're doing something with your time in your life that feels really constructive for you. So before I move on to this concept of psychometry, which we're kind of diving into today, I'm just curious, what's going on for you right now with this season of winter? We're coming up on the winter solstice. So the pinnacle point of darkness. And I'm just so curious, like, how's winter feeling to you right now? Are you all delicious up in your sweaters and by the fireplace? Like, what are you really loving about winter right now? I'm in a very non-wintry place, although we are having some winter weather, which is nice. But I'm kind of missing that cold winter, tea by the fire, baking cookies, whatever, that kind of vibe for the winter depths. So I'm curious, what is feeling really resonant and good to you right now, wherever you are in the world in your winter time? So, as you may or may not know, I've been working with women's vaginas for a long fucking time. I was doula for 10 years. That was over 20 years ago. I've attended hundreds of births as a doula and as an acupuncturist, moving babies along, right? Moving them through the birth canal. By the way, did you know the word cunt means birth canal? It's an old English word. I teach about that inside of one of my programs that you will learn about tomorrow at the jade masterclass. So I've also been doing pelvic floor therapy, holistic pelvic floor therapy on women for a very long time. Probably I would say it's been about 10 years now. And I also help women find their way to absolute pleasure and to erotic ecstasy. So working with the vag is never a dull moment. It's always fascinating. One of the most fascinating things that I get to do in this work is the pelvic floor work. And so we go in and we do all this clearing of emotional and spiritual and physical pain and trauma that gets lodged inside the vaginal tissues. So if psychometry were a real thing, meaning like you held the egg in your hand and it gave you stories and it gave you information about that woman, it would be just like doing a pelvic floor session. So, some of the stories, like the egg would tell stories just like these stories that I get to pull out of women when I'm doing that kind of work on them. So one woman healed her relationship with boundaries toward men in her life in a single session. And that was like a lifetime of issue because she wasn't able to hold her boundaries. So in a single session, she was able to get to a strong place within herself. We did the pelvic floor work and then we did the jade egg for her to continue to have those boundaries be really set up and strong inside of herself. And she became super clear about what she wanted to say to the next man who was trying to get something from her that she wasn't ready to give. Have you ever had that experience, either male or female, where you're like, somebody really wants something from you and you're like, well, it wouldn't be so bad. Like, it's not that I don't want to give that to you, but you're not exactly 100% ready to give that. So, or it's just feels like this, no, I'm absolutely not ready to give that. Like, it's very clear and I may never be ready to give that. So that boundary, when it is honored, when you honor your own boundary, which comes from being able to sense and feel on a physical level what that boundary is for yourself. This particular woman I was working with, the words that came out of her were like, how dare you? You don't deserve me if you can't see that I'm a woman to be cherished and honored. So that was really, really powerful for her to come to those words and to speak them so clearly out loud, during our session, and then to carry that strength inside the jade egg, inside of her vajayjay for the coming weeks after that. And it completely changed her relationship with the man she was dating at the time. So another woman I worked with healed her relationship to her femininity, right? By her own, like, how is it to be a woman in the world? And so she did this deep healing work on that. And by unlocking the stagnation and the pain and the trauma that was stuck in her vaginal tissues, she was able to discover this incredible medicine, which was to sing and to dance and to be more in her body and more playful and not so serious all the time, not just always going down the checklist all the time. So not so structured, more open and more playful. And that allowed her to be more in her femininity. Then she took that into her jade egg practice and just has completely blossomed into a really embodied and a really empowered woman. So the jade egg really would tell such incredible stories. If psychometry of the jade egg were a real thing, the jade egg would really tell these incredible stories of how a woman has been protecting herself, of how she has shut herself down in order to stay safe, and how she's ready, really ready to begin to express verbally, to use her voice, to hold those boundaries. And because those boundaries are in place, she can then be more open, more free, and more in her joy, more in her femininity. So I'll be sharing more of these kind of client experiences tomorrow at the masterclass. So be sure to come to that. And if you have any girlfriends or cousins or sisters or anyone, any women in your life who you know would get so much out of this event, then go ahead and share it with them. Just forward them the link. And this is, I just want to say, like, this is such important work. It's really underestimated. It gets swept under the rug all the time. And it is, it's causing a big ripple in how humanity is suffering. It's causing a really big rift in how the world is still in this deep state of pain and this degradation of the source from which we all come, the vagina. I mean, the words that are used for the vagina are, even the vagina itself means the sheath, the sheath that the sword goes into. So there's so much to shift consciousness and shift your perspective about when it comes to the almighty vagina, because that's where we all come from. So really we should be worshiping, right? And we should be healing, and we should be paying attention to and prioritizing this part of our lives and our bodies, especially as women, but even as men too, to really, really start to revere, worship, and honor that sacred center of a woman's body. So if you do have a friend that you want to share this with, write their name in the comments so we can look for them on tomorrow's live, because it would be fun to meet some new people and share this work with them. And also, if you're really, really ready to learn how pleasure heals the yoni at a whole other level, then you're going to want to come to tomorrow's masterclass. And just give me a yes in the comments if you are going to make it. Recently I had a tantric session with a client who felt like she'd done a lot of the healing work that her yoni was asking her to do. So she felt really well healed, but she wanted to see what infusing her body with, oh, good. We got some people coming tomorrow. Going to be fun. We're going to have a good time. Yes. So she wanted to see what just infusing so much pleasure into her yoni would bring her. So I gave her it was kind of this hybrid of a pelvic floor and a tantra session. And she was able to heal so much more than she ever knew was possible. And I coached her on breathing. I coached her on drawing the sexual energy up to her brain. I coached her on bathing her endocrine system in that sexual energy. And she was able to have these full body energetic orgasms that reverberated through every cell in her body. It was amazing. And she never had what we think of as like a traditional orgasm, but when she got off the table, she was glowing, right? And she was reveling in that feeling of sexual satisfaction, that feeling that you get when you've just been super juiced up and in that orgasmic state. I don't know if you guys have seen Gwyneth Paltrow's show called Sex, Love, and Goop yet. But on there is a scene where a woman shows what an energetic orgasm looks like. And that is exactly what this woman had on the table. It was so powerful and so, so deeply healing, but like even more so, it was so empowering. So I know that sounds a little bit like, ooh, edgy and, way outside of your comfort zone for some of you, and that's fine. But I tell you, I'll tell you about it. I tell you about it so that you can really understand what's possible. That sexual healing and spiritual intimacy is a journey, and everyone's at a different place in their journey. And you get to choose how far you go down the road that you want to go down to. It's your choice. So it's never going to be too much for you because you are making the choice every step of the way, especially when you're working with someone like me who really knows how to guide you on making that sovereign choice for yourself every step of the way. So be sure to come to the masterclass tomorrow and dip your toes in the water to see if a jade egg practice could be the next step for you in becoming a satisfied and sexually empowered woman. So we'll put that Zoom link. Got to register on Zoom. We're going to put that in the comments. And all you got to do is register, and then we will see you there tomorrow. If you can't make it live, you do want to make it live if you can, because we got some cool prizes for you. But if you can't make it live, then, we will have a replay for you. So be sure to register anyway. So I'm really looking forward to it. Tomorrow's going to be a fun day, and I love to be on Zoom. I like to be on Facebook with you guys too, but I like to be on Zoom because it's a little bit more, I get more interaction, right? I get a little bit more connection with you. So that's going to be fun for me as well. I can't wait to see you then, and sending you a beautiful, beautiful Friday afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Tons of aloha and love, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Okay, see you soon. Namaste.